Welcome back to Re-Evolutionary Tribe. Things about to get beautifully crazy. Beautifully crazy this year, but all right, let's just kind of get to this. Remember, I don't have the time to edit, even if I wanted to, but also I think it takes away from, in a sense, what a real world conversation would be. So I'd rather just kind of give it to you as is, like if you were right here with me. So sorry that there isn't all this pizzazz. Trust me, once the money comes in, I'll show you here in a second here why you want to join the tribe. Basically, you'll see that once the money comes in, I can hire all of that, because again, successful people have to delegate things that they may be good at, but also more importantly, what they're not good at, so they can focus on what they're good at, And what I'm good at is basically absorbing lots of knowledge and then try to consolidate it and create mind maps and flowcharts to make my brothers and sisters understand what we're up against. And I was going to use it later, but the analogy right now for any of you Dragon Ball Z fans is, when when Goku is fighting a pretty strong opponent, what does he do? He usually calls a spirit bomb, right? What does the spirit bomb do? It collects all the chi of all the people. Chi is money. Money is chi. So that's what we're doing here with our tribe. So I'm gonna find a meme, right, where or GIF, and I'm gonna put the greed, corporations, bank, government, right? That's the villain, and then the R tribe on Goku's face. I can't believe I'm a big fan of Goku, but Goku's face, and everybody putting their energy is basically the 90% of the world, right? That's basically living in poverty because of what these companies are doing, but also what they're doing as well. But that's a whole other process of educating the masses of lack of financial literacy, but also discipline. Because a lot of us know what to do. Like, we know don't eat a lot and work out, but we don't do it, Now, I'm not even gonna get into it, So, all right. So shout out to this guy, Alex V. I'm surprised how quick I got a couple views here. It's nothing crazy, but again, that's because I have to keep pumping out for YouTube to do its thing, to know where to put you. And of course, I had to revamp the titles and the description. So Alex V. Ajita. These concepts are on the surface. Sorry, I'm trying to get coconut water here from my mom. Thank you, Mami. ¿Por qué no me pones en el reloj? Oh, sí, porque tú ahorita sí, pues sí.
¿Te lo puedo?
Más poner hielos en este vaso. Alright, so Alex V. Ajita says these concepts are the surface of Hinduism. You may want to read the Bhagavad Gita. And so where do I start with this? Of course, I looked at his channel. He has one video. It's interesting. I'm not going to review it right now. Or if I ever do, again, I got so many. As you'll see, my ultimate project and everything, you're going to see that, I have to be hyper focused, all right? So these concepts are the surface of Hinduism. Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to actually, eventually I'll show you some interviews with my Bangladesh coder, right? He's a Muslim. And I'm like, the only reason people find truth in ancient scriptures is because they lived in times where they had to be practical, right? And practical is practical no matter. Some things are timeless, right? They were always obviously and universal. So that's why I tried to start with my design at the root level. What would happen if you had to start, or if you ended up in an island by yourself? What would be instantly your priorities, right? You got to gather that. You got to find water, right? Hopefully you're by a river, right? Whatever. Maybe you're in an ocean where you can maybe drink the water, but whatever. I'm just So water, food, shelter, energy, and medicine, right? And then you build upon those, right? You have transportation, then you got telecommunication, and then in my hierarchy we have novelty, right? Because once you cover those bases of survival, now your mind can start being creative and creating all kinds of things, as we see now, right? Because of people having kids, right? The population growing, and with population growing, you can distribute the labor, which I will go through that whole scenario in these coming videos. So basically, from the sound of his voice, right, it sounds like he's a typical guy the typical person that basically and that's a good part. Actually, good place to start. Again, when you conversation with God and listen to everything, you understand that there is no wrong or right. All of this is an illusion. So I'm just saying it is a good place to start to question your own family's religious upbringing, right? And so you should obviously know more about the book that they praise, and more importantly, the history of how that book was even compiled, and also understand that throughout time, there are many opportunities for people to consciously and unconsciously alter these books, right? Lost in translation, all this other stuff, right? When it's translated, there's always lost in translation, right? That now, basically, over time, right? As they say, if you're 1 degree off, the further you go out, the more off you're going to be, right? Because it usually goes on a tangent. But yeah, like I said, it's a good place to start to question your own thing, but know it better, right? But also understand, like I said, because we're like, oh, the Bible was right, the Torah was right, the Quran is right. Again, it's some things are timeless and universal, and it does not matter, right? So these books are not, first of all, yeah, they're not the end all be all source. Thank you, Mimi. They're not the end all be all source of truth. And of course, as things change, what is right yesterday can be wrong tomorrow, and vice versa. As a lot of men are seeing here in America, right? And women too. Again, it's this idea of relationships that has been promulgated to both of us, But the way things are, in exchange for males having authority, they have a huge, immense responsibility. Therefore, what was once created to protect women in the time when they weren't allowed to work or didn't have the opportunities they have now, right? They haven't updated those laws, and now those laws that were designed to protect women can now be designed to really hurt men, and the men at the top are not questioning it. They're not like, or maybe like, okay, that's a low priority thing, but it will have massive negative effects into society. But anyways, okay, so also I highly recommend Yoga Honda's Cosmic Charts. Yeah, of course. Well, the reason I laugh is because I had a best friend. Okay, so for those of you who think I'm East Indian, I'm not. Though I have a very good accent, and I don't do it to insult you. Okay, this is just me being my comedian side. I know, right? And I have a pretty good Russian, Polish kind of accent. I do all kinds of accents. So don't take offense if I forget about it. All right. So hey, Baraducci. Anyways, yeah, I had in high school, my best friend was East Indian and my other best friend was Filipino, and I can kind of pass for both. So when I was with my Filipino friend, everybody thought I was another Filipino, and they're all like talking to me Filipino. I'm like, no hablo Filipino. And then when I was with my East Indian friend, everybody thought I was like the cousin or whatever. So anyways, like I said, I could pass for both. But anyways, keep going, bro. Ultimately, all true religions find its way to God one way or another, just like how different streams of water meet at sea. Exactly. Love from India, And I love back, right? And then I replied with, yes, because truth is truth, and it all comes from the same source. Where are you from? Oh shit. See, I don't know why I missed that. Never mind. Let me reply right now. Oh, come on. I'm about to say. Never mind. I don't know how I missed that. You all from India. I hope to visit one day. Alright, so shout out to him. Alright, now I'll give you a little sneak peek into what the ultimate goal is with Re-Evolutionary University. Sorry, Re-Evolutionary Tribe, and the university is to basically call it re-educate or further educate, right? Because there are people actually already educated themselves and they're kind of aware, and but awareness never stops growing. Since there's always more to become aware, and more importantly, we're actually reminded of too, because we forget, right? That's why you can't just listen to these books just one time. Where it is? Okay, there it is. Just one time and think you got it, right? Again, I countless times I heard to listen to it, but all right, let's get to it, right? So again, our brains kind of think like this, right? And I'm doing it from left to right because that's kind of how we view things, at least here in the West, right? I mean, Islam, Chinese. It's funny that the other side of the world decides to read from right to left, and well, I guess they do it top down as well. I think. Well, I know it's right to left, but I forgot if it's from the bottom up. No, I think it still does from top down, because it just makes sense, just like scrolling. Well, then this one doesn't do scrolling here, but right here, scrolling, right? Anyways, all right. So the goal here, right? Why you want to donate, like I said earlier, is because just like, actually, let's do that right now. Actually, let's look it up. Goku Spirit Bomb Gift. All right, here we go. So I want to find something along the lines. My thing's starting to start. The fan's starting to start. Supposed to be going to sleep here soon. Okay, here we go. Ukraine, Kenya, Texas. It's just misleading. Sometimes things on the surface don't look as much. Hold on, let's see. Oh, come on. Put ice packs on here so that it cools things down. Okay, now where is there was a pretty cool one that I was trying to find. Give me your energy. Okay. Jump shot. No, I'm trying to find something a little better. Oh yeah. That's what I forgot. But dang it. The issue here I'm trying to find is that it's animated, and I want a couple of clips. So I'm probably gonna clip that. Right? Okay. I think I got it now. Let's do that actually. That's what we're gonna do, because it's gonna find a meme, but a GIF meme, but that's just better. The Almighty 3 shoe beating Rolf. Blah blah blah. Goku Spirit Bomb. Well, let's just actually put Spirit Bomb. That's it. Okay. So, this is a GIF, I guess. I might do a video and edit that and actually make a video, but for right now I'm just gonna make a visual of it, okay? Kind of like a storyboard. So as you can see, this is okay. This is like, okay, there we go. But see, no, I need the opponent. Well, let's take a copy of it here actually real quick though. All right, we're gonna put it right here. Okay, good. All right. So we got the Spirit Bomb. Where are we? Where is the picture where we're trying to throw out a villain? Ooh, really? None of them? It's actually more difficult than I thought. Spirit Bomb. Wait, is it this one? No. Oh, for the love of God. No pun intended. Sorry it's going to take long, but again, this is part of the education. You say, well, you could edit this out, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm just, again, showing you how I do things so you can kind of get the full picture. You could always click a couple, double click on to fast forward a couple seconds, but see, I'm trying to find something where they're throwing it at an opponent. Where is... blah blah blah. Dude, come on now. Where did I see the one? See, okay, so there's this one. Alright, let's see what we got here. Okay, there we go. How about that? There we go. Let's do that. do copy an image. All right, paste. Okay. And then also I wanted to show. I remember it was Majin Buu. I was like, there was another Majin Buu. Okay, where's that other one? Damn it. Where all the people are giving them energy. Come on. Come on, where is it? Should have took a screenshot when it happened. Yada yada yada. Bro, for real? Spirit bomb. People. Key. There we go, right there. That's the one. Alright, there we go. Okay. So, the people alright, so yeah, so okay, here we go. There we go. Now we get to see something like that. You see, that's okay. So I think we need more of a horizontal one. Okay, there we go. There we go. So horizontal one. Yeah, there we go. We'll do that like that. Okay. Copy image. It's cool to see, you know, but I mean you see it here too as well. So that's even more. A little bigger. All right, there we go. All right, so this is okay. Let's see. Oh, really? There we go. The tribe giving. Wait, donating money. Really? I'm about to get a clip-on microphone here soon, so sorry about that. Money. And then let's see here. Government, banks, corporations. Yeah. Government, banks, corporations. Those are the three villains. Let's see here. Corporate banking. Okay, maybe this is it right here. Corporates, investment banks, construction. No. That's what we're gonna do that. We're gonna do government. Paste. Alright, we're going to put government, banks, yeah, similar institution looking, right? Institutions. Oh, come on, no. Yeah, I was about to say. Alright. See, that's where we're gonna get a little closer. So make it like this, right? Thanks. Corporations. I don't know if Tesla would be in there, but these are global mega. Let's see if we can turn transnational corporations. Okay. Whatever. I think you guys get the picture. Alright, copy image, paste. because since these are the quote-unquote enemy, not all banks, let's be clear, and of course not all government officials, right, but the institutions. Okay, so there we go. Make this the face, right? What is this group? Group. What? Oh, there it is, right there. So group. All right. This is, now we have the revolutionary tribe. Let's see pictures. Oh, come on. List. This one. That's it. Okay. Bang, bang, bang. Right. Paste. Right. Let's shrink this down. And there we go. Okay. So this is what we're doing, right? This is the donating the money, right? Group it, groupies. Okay. So the tribe is donating money, right? Because if you call it an investment, then you bring in the corrupt government. Okay. So we're concentrating, right? It's giving the energy to Goku, aka the revolutionary tribe, right? This is going to basically, this represents cooperative. Yes, I know I'm the leader as of now, but again, you're going to see that my goal is to not be the leader. Okay, I'm going to create the systems so that there'll be multiple leaders, just like it is now with the government. Since the president can't do everything, right? So there's checks and balances, right? So think of me as a president, but we have the members of the board as well, which is the people, right? Ultimately, because we're going to bring a whole new kind of system about. But again, we're just little by little, people, okay? It's gonna take some time. So yeah, so that's what we're doing, right? We are charging up, right, to throw the spirit bomb against these powerful institutions, all right? The government, the bank, right? Because the banks and the corporations pay for the government's officials to get elected or re-elected, right? And then they draft up the laws that these people supposedly follow, but really it was, as the revolving door says, right, it is the lawyers that draft up the laws and then the politicians vote on it, okay? Obviously some people already know that, but that's basically an analogy of what we're trying to do here, all right? So now let's break it down. Oops. Let's break it down. All right, so you donate whatever you can donate, but I would like at least 50, right? Again, donate what you donate, but I'm saying later on we'll show the math. We'll show the math why you want 50 at least, you know, just to keep the math simple. Now, of course, like the Goku analogy or Dragon Ball Z analogy, anything helps, so that's fine. And of course, some of you will be like, hey, I want to put actually more than 50. I really believe in this, and I got money to burn, or whatever, right? And of course, Dan's going to teach me how, you know, or through the university, he's going to teach me how to play this economic game and takes the bank's money. So in a sense, we're going to take the bank's energy and not destroy them really. We're just, again, because you actually, well, as you're going to learn in this book, you can't create nor destroy energy. You can only change its form. So we're going to change these institutions, all for the better, right? We're going to basically we're updating the software, okay, and maybe some of the hardware as well, the way however you want to view it, right? But all right, so you donate at the exact same time. Right, you're going to try to bring more people into the tribe to donate as well, aka recruit new tribesmen, right? The money you donate will be you know, basically put into the pool, right? I'm thinking of giving you 10%, whatever you donate every month. Yeah, of whoever you bring under you, right? But Again, this is still a rough draft, so I might change this because I'm like, wait, hold on, no, let me, again, and I'll explain that later. So right now, take that with a grain of salt. You will get some affiliate commission because I do want to make you some money, right? But also I hope that you're like, you know what, I'll reinvest it basically so that this pool of money grows faster. But also when you reinvest it, that means you carve out more equity for yourself, you know. So again, we still reward people for doing work, but we're also going to create a system that we have a baseline living wage basically that we're trying to create through passive income, you know. And the hopes is that when you have this passive income, now you're free of this like worrying or whatever, right? That hopefully now you start educating yourself in other stuff that will be also available on the thing, or take some of the asset management labor as well. But again, I digress. We'll talk about that later, right? So we invest that pool of money into many different digital products and services because they are the most profitable, people. The most profitable. Therefore, we can again, because when you eliminate the greed aspect, right? Even though a lot of you are basically piggybacking off of my hard work, right? You can say, well, we're giving you the money, but again, great, but I don't need that to be tossed in my face, right? Because if you have the money but you have no idea, just like the engineers have the talent to create whatever, if they don't have a greater vision, it doesn't matter, right? They're waiting there twiddling thumbs for somebody to think of an idea, right? Then you won't make anything, you know? So look at Wozniak. Wozniak had the skills, but Jobs had the greater vision. So it takes two of us. So let's not infight, which will eventually happen. That's fine. People can take what's going to be open source and do whatever they want, all right? But anyway, so yeah, so we're going to invest in done-for-you e-com companies. You know, we're going to see which ones are legit, see what's going on, right? We're gonna invest in some of these YouTube automated channels, right? Because that's again digital products, right? That we can make all kinds of money with affiliates and stuff like that. And of course, there'll be another affiliate thing, another affiliate strategy that we're all can do together, because we all need to consume. So might as well consume through the portal of Re-Evolutionary, right? And basically, because the profits will eventually circle right back to you, so it benefits you, all right? And it simplifies everything, right? Again, united we stand, divided we fall. This doesn't, again, just like this religion stuff tries to claim ownership of what's right and wrong. No, that's just common sense, you know. So it's common sense. It's not American slogan. It's just a universal spiritual truth, right? United we stand, divided we fall. All right. Web and mobile softwares, because I develop them because I need them for art, and you're gonna need them too to become a highly proficient, efficient, a superhuman, okay, or above average if you want to put it like that, right? So we're also going to buy existing online businesses. Again, we don't need to start from scratch. We're going to put some of that money into Bitcoin and Ethereum, which you know. And then and maybe another third project, right? And maybe something else again as I develop the platform, and people can kind of have somewhat of a democratic system. But we'll talk about the democratic concept later, because it's only as good as how well the intelligent the masses are, right? So once the profit is made, obviously we're going to pay our taxes, but we'll do what transnational corporations do as well to minimize their taxes. Okay, and, you know, it's from the principle of not trying to give more money to the government, which most of it goes to the military industrial complex, and we don't want that, right? So, but whatever, we're going to play within the rules, and wherever we find loopholes, I guess, we will take them to our advantage, all right? So that we make more money, all right? And so the cooperative redonates your cut to you based on how much you have donated, okay? Because what you're going to see here, anything beyond the current tax year's gifting limit or lifetime exception will be paid by the co-op. But as you'll learn something later on here, man, I hate it when these things go off. Sorry about that, guys. Let me change the diapers here real quick. See these gel packs. I don't think this one is cold enough to make a dent in this. But all right, whatever. Okay, so yeah, anything beyond or lifetime exemption will be paid by the cooperative. So what does that mean for you? It means you don't ever have to worry about taxes at all. All right, so that'd be like you don't have to worry about anything. It's like having a rich uncle or grandfather or whatever father that died to a certain degree, right? And now do you see why donation based approach is way better? Well, you still may not see it because I'm gonna have to redo this because I can tell you here. Why a donation versus an investment? Okay, so this breaks down that this is what back in 2021, but I got to look at the I'm going to actually find the true law, but I know this is true for many different reasons. All right. Point is, if I redonate money to you, right, you're donating to me because we want to avoid having to pay taxes on that money, so we have a bigger pool of money. Bigger pool of money to invest, right? And what was I saying here? Yeah. So then when we do make the profits and I donate to you, right, there's a limit that I can give you every year. And anything, in this case, back in 2001, I guess it was $15,000, right? Every year it raises. I think for this year's tax season, it's going to be I think 18,000. I think 2022 was 17,000, so I think it's 18,000. Okay, you can quickly, all right, let's see. What is gifting tax for tax year 2023? Okay, still 17,000, okay? All right, so 17,000, anything I donate to you past that amount, I have to report that to the IRS. Why? So they can keep track. So that if you were to receive anything past 11.58 million, any cent after that, I still have to be responsible for paying taxes, right? We're gonna have to pay estate taxes basically, right? So when I found this, I screamed out like a thing of joy. I was like, oh shit, even better, baby. All right, so anyways, donations can't be taxed until 11.58 million. Again, they created this so that wealthy, very super uber generational wealth cannot just pass money. Trust me, they found workarounds, but at least the government tried. All right, again, as much as I would talk bad about the government, again, it's more complex than you think. The nuance is that there are certain people in there who actually have good intentions, but the overall system will not let them. Period. Okay. Anyway, so I'm not gonna get too into that, right? So which means more money in the pool to invest. Money gets invested, profit is made, profit is donated back to you without you having to worry about taxes. I, the software accountant, will keep track of how much we have redonated back to you. Okay. I'll probably never pass $11 million in a lifetime, but hey, if we get you $1 million, you know, and if not more, right? It's possible. I know some of you may not understand, but again, trust me, when you map everything out instead of trying to hold everything into your brain, then you can do everything. Then you can see what's going on, right? So now, if you don't donate, right, I get taxed on that income, okay, which means less money in the pool to invest. I have to pay about $30,000, right, to get to structure a fund so that it's all within legality. But then you bring government into our business. So those of you again who understand that government should not be in our business would be like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You'd be like, so I got you, man. Again, this is all perfectly legal, as you guys will read and see the law, right? So the government and the government may prevent you from investing, you know, or will be capped at how much we can raise, because yes, now there is the regulation CF, all right, that allows you to raise. I've heard mixed messages now. I think they might have changed it, updated again, but it was 1 million at one point when it was first coming out, and I think now they updated it for 5 million. Okay, and 5 million is chump change compared to the amount of money that has now been created and circulated in the economy. Okay, so we don't want to limit ourselves at 5 million if it were the case. Even though I don't necessarily think we need that. Right before we start getting cash flow positive. We're just trying to avoid the government in our business. I know it's gonna require a lot of you faith in me, but that's what I'm doing here. I am being super transparent in everything, and restoring your faith in humanity, right? And again, most of this profit is supposed, is supposed to go to me, but I'm not greedy. And I'll explain everything else why I can't just give you all of it for many different reasons. Because you have to keep some certain money for capital expenditures to expand the business, for any potential storms, and then everything else can be given out as de facto dividends, right? All right, so your cut / profits will now have to be subject to be taxed because it's capital gains, people. You made an investment. You didn't donate, you invested. Therefore, tax, right? And we all know how taxes are stressful to us. So, anyways, subject to be taxed, and now you will have to be added. Now you will have the added homework of reporting this on your own taxes. Okay, whereas before you can wipe your hands clean and worry free about what to report to the tax man. They can come to you, hey, how'd you get this money? Donation, here it is, right? Blah blah blah. So, moral of the story: just donate. Okay. All right. So that's it for now. Okay, now we're gonna get to Conversation with God. Just want to give you guys a sneak peek. All right. So, shh, you'll see. All right. So no, that's not it. Oh yeah, Conversation with God. All right. So let's, without further ado, track 4.
When you say that a prayer is a statement of what is so, are you saying that God does nothing, that everything which happens after a prayer is a result of the prayer's action?
If you believe that God is some omnipotent being who hears all prayers, says yes to some, no to others, and maybe but not now to the rest, you are mistaken. By what rule of thumb would God decide? If you believe that God is the creator and decider of all things in your life, you are mistaken. God is the observer, not the creator. And God stands ready to assist you.
Now that's a big one, right? That a lot of them just, oh, thank God. And when it's the bad stuff, they're like, oh, some of them will be like, why God, but anything good? God. Anything bad? Maybe the devil, And, they'll say, hopefully God this, hopefully God. Well, no, it's actually more based on you, and how well you have a hold of your emotions, because it's your thought, word, and deed, but the emotions behind the thought, word, and deed that we'll see if you're going to manifest something or not. But, okay, I'm not going to get too into it right now. But, yeah, just know that the analogy I say is basically God created the crayons. What you draw with your life is what you created, not God. Yes, God created the parameters, the physics, right? Gravity, blah, blah, blah. Those are the parameters, right? Again, the crayons are the parameters. What you color with that or create with those crayons is on you. That's why I tell people, you're gonna hear me often say, just leave God out of the equation. God was just the first cause. It started the first domino, but now after that, it's all on you, and you should be happy because that gives you basically utter freedom, and also without any worry about, oh, I'm going to be judged.
In your life, but not in the way you might expect. It is not God's function to create or uncreate the circumstances or conditions of your life. God created you in the image and likeness of God. You have created the rest through the power God has given you. God created the process of life and life itself as you know it. Yet God gave you free choice to do with life as you will. In this sense, your will for you is God's will for you. You are living your life the way you are living your life, and I have no preference in the matter. This is the grand illusion in which you have engaged, that God cares one way or the other what you do. I do not care what you do, and that is hard for you to hear.
Very, very hard for most people to hear, right? I admit, even myself, right? I used to, I'm still having conversation with God, but when I was younger, very young, I had a very strong feeling that I had a communication with God, and then this came into my life. It's like, oh my God, you kind of answered everything that I felt, but, was still kind of on the fence about, because, family members thought differently, friends thought differently, But once I heard this, it's like, wait, this is yet another sign, another miracle that's happened in my life, another prayer, in a sense, thought that has been answered. And yeah, so I thought God wanted this and God that, but now when I heard this, I'm like, well, that's true. If God is everything, therefore needs or want nothing, so God doesn't care what I do. Again, we can't create nor destroy life. This and plus is an illusion for in a sense our highest self to not be alone, right? We like divided ourselves into different, you know, things we call souls, but really, right? It's just one energy. It's a big, wonderful, grand illusion, and I'm glad that we were even able to do it because I tell people like, we don't have to be here. We could literally be non-existent, which is kind of hard to imagine if you think about it. It's like we don't have to be here. This is a freaking miracle, fucking miracle like no other, right? We don't have to be. We can just be this voidless nothingness that for somehow, yet here we are. Some weird ass, just beautiful weird ass mind blowing. It's like, yeah, we don't have to exist at all. Who says we have to exist? And yet here we are. And look at the things we can do and have done and will do. It's crazy.
Yeah, do you care what your children do when you send them out to play? Is it a matter of consequence to you whether they play tag or hide and seek or pretend? No, it is not. Because you know they are perfectly safe. You have placed them in an environment which you consider friendly and very okay.
Now people are like, well, what about the wars and this and that? God is not talking about your flesh, right? The temple of clay. It's talking about your spirit made in the image of God. Therefore, so I'm saying, that's why I tell these Christians, I'm like, or anybody else that believes, oh, God is judging me and I'm not perfect. Well, I'm here to say you are perfect intrinsically, right? Now, in the illusion of life, well, it's all relative depending on where you're at, right? Depending on their law, some of the stuff you do may not be perfect, may be wrong, and therefore you're going to be punished. But if you were somewhere else, they would be like, we don't care. That's just what it is. You know, we don't see it as bad, especially if it, again, the 6 transgressions. I don't know if I said it in my other videos, but if there was no murder without justification, again, self-defense. If there was no graping, no assault, graping, molestation, physical assault, financial and property theft, or damage, because it cost you to fix it, and then false allegations, especially that leads to someone losing their job or ending in jail because now you took away their freedom, right? They either end up getting killed in jail or getting killed because you falsely accused them, right? Again, bearing false witness, right? There's only real 6 transgressions that really humans can do to each other, with the nuance of, like, again, this white collar theft. But again, the nuance about it, the delicate part about it, is that corporations don't put a gun to your head and say, hey, work for us for cheap, for super cheap, right? That you can't even survive, that you haven't done your math and you don't realize that working for whatever couple bucks an hour you're not going to survive, So that's the gray area, because we can say we should pass laws of income caps, right, to prevent that from happening. But of course, right now the cultural narrative is that capitalism, because look at all these other systems that have failed, and capitalism has created all this. Yes, it has created all this, but it also seems to be dying, because in a sense we are shifting from capitalism to socialism, but only socialism for the corporations, not for the masses. So Wall Street gets bailed out, even though they fuck up. If you fuck up putting in a wrong investment or whatever, the government's not going to make you whole. These Wall Street companies, they made these stupid games, right? But the government made them whole, and didn't punish them. So anyways, yeah, let's continue.
Of course, you will always hope that they do not hurt themselves. And if they do, you will be right there to help them, heal them, allow them to feel safe again, to be happy again, to go and play again another day. But whether they choose hide and seek or pretend will not matter to you the next day either. You will tell them, of course, which games are dangerous to play. But you cannot stop your children from doing dangerous things. Not always, not forever. Not in every moment from now until death. It is the wise parent who knows this. Yet the parent never stops caring about the outcome. It is this dichotomy, not caring deeply about the process, but caring deeply about the result, that comes close to describing the dichotomy of God. Yet God, in a sense, does not even care about the outcome, not the ultimate outcome. This is because the ultimate outcome is assured. And this is the second great illusion of man, that the outcome of life is in doubt. It is this doubt about ultimate outcome that has created your greatest enemy, which is fear. For if you doubt outcome, then you must doubt Creator. You must.
And this is a big one, very big one. And so when you guys see me amass wealth, not just through this avenue, because, well, it's a long story, but I had a psychic in Canada. I'll introduce all that later. But basically, when I asked a certain question, they said, why not open yourself to money from all around you, 360, meaning in a sphere actually. So I was like, yeah. Now I'm thinking like, oh yeah. I mean, not that I was just focused on that one thing, because it would solve a lot of the problems that I can now do all this other stuff, right, without having to worry about money. But yeah, it's basically always to be diversified, and have multiple sources. So not giving up. But anyways, the point is, so when people say, oh, you got lucky or whatever, this and that, it's like, no. You don't know how many years. Right now it's been over 10 years of working on this, working on my emotions, right? Fighting that doubt all the time, right? And understanding, basically always coming back to the epiphany, because again, you're gonna forget, you're gonna remind, you're gonna forget, like, why can't I just hope? That's the challenge. Without any challenge, there is no real sense of reward. Okay, so when I tell you right now, you don't understand how much I actually had to work, inner work, to allow that to even happen. Because my brain says, oh, you're not worthy. Oh, not my brain, sorry, my ego, whatever, the negative side says, you're not worthy of it, blah, 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 right? Oh, you're never going to get it, blah, 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 blah. And basically, yeah, I have to fight that. So you guys, you can't see that, but I'm telling you. So, and when it happens, I'll eventually, again, release the information. I'll tell you, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, now I saw what he meant. Yeah, he's not lucky. He worked on it for over decades, right? To basically, yeah, fight the doubt, right? Only one time did doubt come to me one time, Harry. I mean, it was years ago. I'm glad now it doesn't really. I mean, every now there's a subtle thing, but it didn't hit me like they did me that one day. I woke up one day, and this is when I had my injury, as I was explaining all that. But woke up one day, and my mind wanted to get into like the most negative, like, this is never gonna happen. You're fucking crazy. You're delusional. What the fuck, are you fucking crazy to believe this, and let alone tell family and friends? And now that basically fucking, more than a decade has passed by, and it still hasn't happened, right? But again, I'm here to say, hey, I'm trusting the process, right? This is again the affirmations I got to say all the time. Again, this is the battle. This is the challenge that no one will ever see. But that's fine. People are still gonna say, oh, that's just luck, blah blah blah, woo woo, spiritual manifestation, yada yada yada. Okay, great, I understand. Trust me, because there's a lot of really interesting people out there that are using that, and that's why certain things get laughed at, because other people mess it up. But okay, my fan's starting to go, so let's just continue.
God. And if you doubt God, you must live in fear and guilt all your life. If you doubt God's intentions, God's ability to produce this ultimate result, then how can you ever relax? How can you ever truly find peace? Yet God has full power to match intentions with results. You cannot and will not believe in this, even though you claim that God is all-powerful. And so you have to create in your imagination a power equal to God, in order that you may find a way for God's will to be thwarted. So you have created in your mythology the being you called devil. You have even imagined a God at war with this being, thinking that God solves problems the way you do. Finally, you have actually imagined that God could lose this war. All of this violates everything you say you know about God, but this doesn't matter.
See, for me, when I became a so-called atheist, but really I was an agnostic, right? I didn't know that word existed. Again, you grow, right? Every day you grow and hopefully a little more in learning, right? That's what I saw. The simple fact that my religion, people telling me God was love and this and that. Then I'm seeing how people acting, and then confirming it with all the wars from the history that I studied on my own. I was born in history class, and I fell on the religion part, and I think Islam was the first one that I studied. And that very day, I said, "Fuck religion, man! There's too many wars. How can?" It just didn't make sense. I needed to be logically congruent. You got to be consistent, right? You can't be hypocritical. That's why you're gonna hear me say I despise hypocritical people or liars, right? Like I can't lie because I convulse, like I shake, I can't, you know. And sometimes when I convulse and shake because I'm whipping up the courage to say what I gotta say from the heart, even though I know it may hurt those that I love, but it's not the hurt to hurt them. It's the hurt for them is their ego, and if they can overcome that, they will share the joys that I have, right? Sometimes they're just like, oh, how can you do this and this and that? Because I faced my fears. I'm no different than you, only with the exception that I'm different because I choose to face the fears. I have the same fears, I just choose to face them. I was like, fuck it, okay, let's do it, face it, fuck it, right? And you get some benefits of that.
You live your illusion and thus feel your fear, all out of your decision to doubt God. But what if you made a new decision? What then would be the result? I tell you this, you would live as the Buddha did, as Jesus did, as did every saint you have ever idolized. Yet, as with most of these saints, people would not understand you. And when you tried to explain your sense of peace, your joy in life, your inner ecstasy, they would listen to your words but not hear them. They would try to repeat your words, but would add to them. They would wonder how you could have what they cannot find. And then they would grow jealous. Soon jealousy would turn to rage, and in their anger they would try to convince you that it is you who do not understand God. And if they were unsuccessful at tearing you from your joy, they would seek to harm you. So enormous would be their rage. And when you told them it does not matter, that even death cannot interrupt your joy nor change your truth, they would surely kill you. Then, when they saw the peace with which you accepted death, they would call you a saint and love you again. For it is the nature of people to love, then destroy, then love again that which they value most.
Keep that in mind, because that's going to happen. As this becomes a phenomenon, right? Of course, I'm going to have lovers and haters. And some of those lovers may become haters because, again, for whatever reason, they're gonna focus more on words. I'm calling this right now because I've seen it many times, and that's fine. Again, I have to accept that as a highly evolved being, right? Just like Jesus had to accept, right? He said, "Forgive them, for they do not know what they do," which is true. But basically, they're gonna take my words, as God says here, right? Hopefully, some of you will come to my defense in a sense, but they're gonna take my words over my actions, right? Even though the actions are completely good, no one has been hurt, right? But they're gonna be like, oh, but my words hurt my feelings. It's like, but did you die, right? But did you die? Did I do any of the 6 transgressions? No, you're perfectly fine. You just took a big blow to your ego that actually would help you out, but some people will not want to let that go, and they're gonna maybe do some sabotaging, try to create division in the group. And if the group is smart, they're gonna be like, okay, Dan, our de facto chief, kind of already predicted this, which is interesting, right? Shows my intelligence, I guess, emotional intelligence, psychological intelligence, right? Like, okay, listen, we don't have to fight each other. Let the group split, right? That's what happens anyways. You see it within every. I mean, look at the group came as one in America, and then divided into different states. Eventually, we became different states, right? It's cell division. It starts as one cell, and then eventually, when a certain density population happens, for some reason, it wants to split into groups, right? Does it have to be? Do we have to be warlike in the past? No, that's what the United States are kind of talking about. This conversation we got to talk about later is like, does Wisconsin have a war over water rights with Illinois and blah blah blah, right? No, we kind of learned somewhat of a way to resolve disputes peacefully. So meaning we can be different, think differently, and still coexist. You know. I forgot what I was saying here.
But why?
Oh yeah. So we're like, okay, okay, fine. We came to a fork in the road, right? And now we have to split, right? So the people who feel this way on this particular subject very immensely can go that way. They can take all that they agree upon from the past, right? Because it's gonna be open source, and basically they're gonna fork, because that's why it's a fork, right? See, that's why they call it a fork. It's splitting. That's fine. Let's fork, and that's fine. But let's just do it peacefully.
How do we do that?
All human actions are motivated at their deepest level by one of two emotions, fear or love. In truth, there are only two emotions, only two words in the language of the soul. These are the opposite ends of the great polarity which I created when I produced the universe and your world as you know it today. These are the 2 points, the alpha and the omega, which allow the system you call relativity to be. Without these 2 points, without these 2 ideas about things, no other idea could exist.
Yep. What God ends up calling, divine dichotomy, but also, divine dichotomy. Sorry, yeah, and the dyads, right? Which usually the most noticeable dyads is men and women, yin and yang. But okay, since I did a longer intro, kind of, well, I was excited because I finally got a chance to, come on now, really, map this out, right? What I've had in my head for quite a while, and also making I'm almost 40, so I know that, primarily it's gonna be a lot of us guys, because remember, as you'll see in my other video, maybe in my other channels if you find me, we are the problem, therefore we are the solution. Now, of course, if you're not a violent man and this and that, you're not greedy, then obviously you're not the part of the problem, you're part of the solution. But I'm just saying overall, it's men that follow other men to war. So you look at all the wars, it's been primarily men, right? Women can't help it, but because they're not as physically stronger, so women don't have that. Trust me, they have their own part too, because it takes two to tango. So the women in the way they select men contributes to what they're trying to call toxic masculinity, because there's also toxic femininity. But how about we just eliminate that, or anything beyond after the word toxic, right? It's just you're a toxic person. That it's it. Whether you're a male is irrelevant. If you're toxic, you're toxic, and people should get away from toxic people, right? Because when you allow these despots to do what have they learned? Nothing. And that's what conversation God talks about. God talks about that you're not really loving them because you're not really letting them learn that is not okay to do. Okay. So anyways, all right. Talk to you guys later. Peace.